Hello there guys, Jaden here. Welcome to this tutorial where I'll be teaching you how to do keyword research from scratch. So this is going to be really useful if you don't have a website, or you have a brand new website, or you just haven't done keyword research for your website or your business at all. I'm going to break this down into two different methods. The first one will be using the seed keywords, where we're kind of brainstorming. Essentially, all of the keywords ideas will be from our brain, and also with a little bit of help from with Google. And then second method will be to do via a keyword competitor gap analysis, where we're kind of identifying players in your market to see what kind of keywords they are going after. Right? I'm also going to give you two suggestions for all two software suggestions where you can do this via a free method where you are using a tool called Google Keyword Planner, where it's essentially free. Also, if you have paid subscriptions to SEO tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush, you can use that as well. But I'm going to show you how to do it both using the free method and the paid method. Right, so let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you basically want to create a sheet here. Right, and basically whatever I'm doing here, it's right off from the get-go. You can just simply create a Google Sheet, and basically is where you're going to store all your data. Right, so the first things first is the seed keyword method. So in terms of seed keyword method, what I'm going to show you is, I've actually done this video, but it's somehow got corrupted, so I'm redoing this again. But essentially what you want to do is you basically want to dump all of the ideas that you think your customers will be typing in, and you just basically want to record everything down and validate them later with software tools. Right, so the first things first, I'm going to use this as an example because this was the example that I've used in the past. So you want to identify what are the main services or products or your offerings, right, for your business. So in this case, this particular site, it's a fitness site. They offer classes, they offer personal training, they offer, in terms of classes, they also offer different classes like Zumba, boxing, tons of other classes. Okay, so if I open this up, they have TRX, cardio, apps, cycling, dancing, right, Zumba, yoga. So they offer a multitude of services. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to identify the main core services or software that you are using for your particular site, and you want to do this for every individual main core service. So in this case, I'm not going to do for like all of the service I'm seeing over here. I'm just going to do it for one, which is personal training. Right, but you essentially can do this and expand out for all the services that make sense to you. Right, so in this case, because I don't want to keep the video too long, I'm just going to do it for just one core service. So in this case, it's going to be personal training. Okay, so personal training. Now, what you need to do is you need to think about what would your potential customers be typing in to Google when they're searching for your services or when they're looking for your services. Right, in this case, open this up, right? So I'm going to delete all of this. Okay, I'm going to start off from scratch. So you can see here personal training. So I'm going to delete Zumba fitness because, like I mentioned, I'm going to be focusing down on just personal training. So personal training and personal trainer, right, is probably some of the things that my ideal customers are typing in. So what are some other things that I can think of at this moment, right? So personal training in Singapore. So again, you want to know which markets you are targeting in. And in this case, the target market I'm doing this as an example for is in Singapore. So I'm going to type in, personal training Singapore. I can type in personal training. Maybe they are looking for service, right? And then I also want to have this variation in here. Maybe I'm offering online, right? So online personal training, okay, could be one. One-to-one, one-on-one personal training, right? But you want to basically have an idea of what your customers are typing in. And also, obviously, it needs to match whatever that you're offering. So in this case, if I'm not offering online personal training, then obviously I wouldn't go for this keyword, right? So you can have one-on-one, you can have one-on-one personal training. And it's really more like a brain dump exercise where you're just kind of dumping every keyword in here, because we want to make sure that we are validating as much keywords as much as possible. And in order for this to be effective, we need to dump in a lot of keywords to, essentially capture more keywords later on, more keywords that have search volume, right? So I can have one-on-one, I can have one-on-one personal training, even though personal training is one-on-one, right? So personal trainer, again, I can do this, personal trainer Singapore, personal trainer, right? So you want to do this for as much as you can, just by using your brain, right? To brainstorm and think about it. There are two ways that you can kind of use Google to assist you. So I'm going to show you the first way. The first way is via the Google suggestions. So what you do is you basically take one of your seed keyword, go over to Google, and you just want to paste it in here, right? So you can see all of these suggestions that's coming up, right? So look at these suggestions, and you want to include these suggestions into your seed keyword list. So for example, in this case, personal training is suggesting to me like personal training Singapore price, right? So this could be one that I can use, personal training Singapore price. Okay. And I can just do this, open this up. So personal training Singapore price seems like our target audience are looking for pricing related stuff. Okay. And what else? Okay. Package, right? Package could be one. So personal training package, right? They could be looking for packages. What else? Near me. Okay, so this is one way that you can do it. Obviously, this is just for one keyword. You can, you can type in your seed keyword again, and you can see like Singapore rates, personal trainer Singapore rates, right? But this is how you add on to your seed keywords. The other way that you can do it, it's via Google autocomplete. So what you do is, for example, personal trainer, you just want to search for this, right? And then over here, you can see there are some suggestions. And again, you just want to make sure that you're capturing all these suggestions that make sense to you. So in this case, like personal trainer Singapore rates. Okay, personal trainer Singapore rates, right? And then for autocomplete, you just want to have a space bar here, right? So having a space bar here, it will show you what's the autocomplete, right? So for example, Singapore rates, near me, for weight loss, right? Personal trainer for weight loss could be one. Personal trainer for weight loss. Okay, essentially you want to build this list, right? So go through this exercise, have as much keywords as much as possible that basically you want to vet through, right? So now once you have this list, the first method that we're going to do is we're going to do this via the free method, which is Google Keyword Planner. So go over to Google Keyword Planner. Okay, if you're not sure how to find it, Google Keyword Planner, right? And then go over to tools and settings, and then you want to go to Keyword Planner here. Okay, under Keyword Planner, go over to get search volume and forecast. You just want to paste your entire list here. Okay, and hit on get started. Now what this will do is this will give you a estimation of monthly searches via the Google Keyword Planner. What I've noticed is you have to spend like a little bit of money with Google Keyword Planner for them to show you more specific data, because if not, they're going to show you very, very rough data, like ranges of data that is simply way too big. Like for example, 1,000 to 10,000, it could be like 5,000, it could be 9,000, or it could be 1,000. That's a very big difference, right? But if you spend a little bit of money, I don't know how much is a threshold, but you can spend like $5, just run some kind of campaign, but essentially just spend a little bit of money with Google Keyword Planner, get them to like you in a sense, and then you'll be able to get more specific data. So if you don't see this column here, very simple, just go to columns, click on click on modify columns, and then you will just want to hit average monthly searches, right? And this will show you like kind of the data. Now, if you notice, I've keyed in how many? I've keyed in 17 keywords. It's showing me 10. And the reason why it's showing me 10 is because the rest of the keywords that doesn't have any kind of search volume, or it's not popular at all, it will not be, they will not give you data here. And essentially those keywords, you can kind of eliminate them, right? So what you do is you then want to store this data to your Google Sheet. Now, one thing to note is also at the same time, you just want to make sure that this is filtered for the target market that you are going after. And for this, I usually just stick to Google and ignore the search partners, right? And then monthly data, you can go over the 12 months data because you're getting, 12 months data is more than enough. So what you want to do is you want to click on download, okay? And download the matrix, right? Under CSV or Google Sheets, up to you. But you basically want to import this data into your Google Sheet. So in this case, you can have another new sheet, okay, hit on import and then upload, and you just want to upload this, okay, and then just hit on append and you have all your data here. So just remove all of those that is not required, okay, and again, I don't need this. So you can see like they give you competition, they give you index value and all these things. Honestly, all these things are not really that important. You can ignore this. The only thing that we want to pay attention to is the average monthly searches, right? So you can see 50, 5,000, 5,550. So it seems like they are giving me all in terms of, the 5 denominators. All right. So what you do now is you can create a filter, okay? And you can basically filter out which are your popular keywords that you definitely need to go after, right? It's telling you personal training, and personal training in Singapore, there's 5,000 monthly searches. So you definitely need to be targeting these keywords. And this is a good exercise because now from a list of seed keywords that you have that you think your customers will be typing in, now it's backed by data, right? It's telling you that you need to have this as the primary keyword. It's telling you that, personal trainer Singapore rates, there's 500 people searching for this. So you definitely need to have a page that talks about your rates, right? Just specifically talking about your rates, okay? And also you can see like personal trainer for weight loss, people want to find out about the package, and one-on-one personal training. So you can see the variation, right? So earlier on, I have this variation, one-on-one, 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 but it's telling me that only this variation has a search volume of 50, right? And that's how you eliminate those keywords that doesn't have search volume, okay? So that's how you do it with the free software. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on a paid software, so you can use this with, any of the paid software that you're using. For me, I'm using Ahrefs. So what you do, essentially, is the same thing, right? You copy all your seed keywords, copy, okay? And you go over to Google Keyword Planner and you paste it in and you do a search. So what paid software is able to give you is they're able to give you more specific data. So you can see like 3002, 2008, 1003, right? It's very, very specific, right? And then similarly, for all those keywords that are not popular, they will remove it for you, right? And what you do is essentially the same thing. You want to click on export everything out, okay? And you want to basically import your data in here, right? So import, and then click on the pen. So essentially now you have the keywords that have search volume. And again, you can see here, some of them don't have search volume. You can go ahead and remove these, right? And then this will show you which keywords you definitely need to be going after, right? For example, personal trainer, Singapore personal training, Singapore personal trainer, Singapore rates, Singapore personal trainer, online personal training, right? So these could be mapped to your services keyword or your homepage, depending on how you are mapping these keywords. But this essentially will tell you which keywords have search volume and which keywords you should be targeting first and prioritizing them. Now, if your question is, now that you have two sets of data, you have Google search volume that's telling you this, and you also have Ahrefs or your other tools that are telling you otherwise, which one should you follow? So my advice is just follow one software. Whichever software that you're using, either via paid or either the free tool or whichever software that you're using, you don't want to be confusing yourself with too much software, because softwares are essentially kind of like your guiding post, kind of like a guide. They are supposed to guide you, right? So if you have 2 guides or 3 guides showing you different routes, then you'll be confused, like where should you be going, right? So my advice is choose one software, use that software as a gauge to help you navigate, to help you plan which keywords to go after. And that will essentially be, way more clearer, because the main goal of these tools are basically to give you a guidance, right? It's not a said and done rule. It's not 100% true that, personal trainer in Singapore, there's exactly 3,200 people searching for this. So don't worry about that. Just follow one software and you'll be good to go, right? So that's how you do it with the seed keyword method. Now, the next method I'm going to show you, it's via the competitor keyword research method, where we are kind of looking at what your competitors are ranking for, and essentially looking at which keywords do they have that make sense for us, and we want to use them as keywords that we're going to be targeting. Now, you want to use these two methods concurrently, and the reason why is because some of the times when you analyze a competitor, they might miss out some keywords that is very, very profitable for your business. So you don't want to just look at competitors and then just take all the keywords they have. You also want to do this seed keyword method, where you are, coming out with keywords that you think your customers are typing in, because some of the times your competitors might just miss that out. And if you don't do the seed keyword method, you will also miss that out, right? So I'm going to move on to the competitor keyword research method. All right, so this method, it's basically to find, competitors. And it's kind of like a cheat code, but I wouldn't say it's a cheat code. It's more like you are trying to model after what your competitors are already doing. So there's two ways that you can go about it. The first way is if you don't have a website, right? If your website is not up yet, or if your website is brand new and you don't have any data to work with, then this is what you do. You basically go over to Google, okay, and you type in your main keyword. So for example, if personal training is my main keyword, you type in personal training, right? And these will be your main competitors, right? So ignore all the sponsored ones, because usually they don't have much data to work with, unless, they are doing well organically as well. But you want to ignore the sponsored posts and just look at the main competitors here. So these will be your reference. These will be your main competitors, because they are ranking for the keyword that you are trying to rank for, right? Personal training. So in this case, you can identify like UFit. So what you do is you basically, what I like to do is I like to copy it down. So you can go ahead and create another sheet, just list them down as competitor URLs. Okay, you can have this one. You can have the second one, and you can go maybe even this. Okay, but you just want to record your competitors URLs somewhere. Okay, and let's see, let's do 5. All right, let's do 5. Okay, so we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sometimes you will find competitors that are not a direct competitor per se, but they are your competitors on Google. So in this case, for example, you can see this. This is clearly a aggregate website where they are kind of like, showing the best, a list of personal trainer. They are not necessarily, providing the service, but they are a aggregation site. But because they are still on Google, they are technically, still a competitor. So this is how you find, competitors URLs for you to get a kickstart on. So that's one way. The second way is if your website already has a presence, right? If your website already has some kind of data, then you can use your website, okay, as the reference point, and based off on your website, find the competitors that is related to your website. Okay, and there's a few ways to go about it. So moving on, I will show you later on, but moving on, what we do next is we basically want to scrape and ask the tools to give us some ideas about, the competitors. So I'm going to use Google Keyword Planner first. Okay, so over Google Keyword Planner, again, go over to Keyword Planner. And this time, what you want to do is you want to click on Discover New Keywords. Okay, and you want to click on Start with a Website. Right, so start with a website. Okay, go over to your competitor list. Where is my competitor list? Yeah, here it is. Okay, and you want to click on this URL here. Okay, now before you paste this in, you need to ask yourself, how your website is structured, right? Because in this case, YouFit, it's probably a big site. Okay, it's probably a very big site where they are offering like multiple services, like you can see they have like massage therapy, they have physiotherapy and all these kind of things, right? So what you want to do is you only want to capture data or look at data that makes sense for your business model or your business unit. Okay, and how you do that, it's if you look at Keyword Planner here, they will ask you whether do you want to look at the entire site or just this specific page. And in this case, what we want to do is we only want to look at just this specific page, right? Because this specific page is offering personal training, which we also offer personal training, but we don't offer like, massage therapy and the rest of the stuff, right? Like, postnatal, prenatal, right? We don't do that. Right, so what we want to do is we just want to hit on only use this on this particular page. Now, if you offer the direct same services as them, right? If you also offer like physiotherapy, screening, and all this kind of stuff, then you can go ahead and click on, just do the entire site because most of the data you get back will make sense to your business. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use only for this page. Okay, and what this will do is hopefully Google Keyword Planner will give me some ideas about keywords that they have, right? So you can see there is 512 keyword ideas available. So this is telling me based off of my competitor, for this particular page, is showing me all these keywords that I essentially don't have to do kind of like the seed keyword methods that I'm talking about, but it's basically some ideas about what keywords I should be going after, right? So in this case, I'm not going to do it for all of the competitors, but just showing you how to do it for one, you can kind of replicate it across, right? So what you do, same thing, go ahead and download the keyword ideas, okay? And then once you have your keyword ideas, you want to import them in, right? So again, import them in here, click on upload, and then just upload the data, okay? And then, delete, and you just want to make sure that you're only looking at data that is important, right? So in this case, I'm going to hit on filter and I'm going to filter for the highest search volume first. So you can see there's a total of 500, around 513, 512 keywords here, okay, minus the header. So these are 512 keywords that you essentially don't have to kind of, do everything from scratch. It's telling you all these keywords that make sense, right? Personal trainer near me, gym trainer, fitness coach, right? Gym personal trainer, fitness trainer, physical trainer, female personal trainer, right? So that is how you essentially find a list of keywords that your competitors are targeting. And if you are targeting, if you're offering these kind of services, then you also want to be mapping all these keywords to your services. Right? Obviously, you want to remove those keywords that doesn't make sense. Like for example, I have no idea what is this trainer rice, right? But if this keyword doesn't make sense, then you can remove this. You can see YouFit. This is not the brand I'm working with, Pure Fitness, for example. You can remove this, right? Just click on click on delete row, or you can even do this, right? You can even do a checkbox where you insert in a, where is it? A tick box, right? And just copy, paste everything down here. Okay, and for those keywords that doesn't make sense, you can just click on, you're gonna remove, let's say, you're gonna remove this. Let's say, one personal training, where is it? So all these seems like it's good keywords, right? Trainer programs, for example, if let's say, I'm not offering to train any coaches in this case, then you can go ahead and take this. But essentially, end of the day, after you go through all of this, okay, you can mark this anyhow you want to, name this anyhow you want to, but you just basically click on anything that is true, right? And at the end of the day, all these are irrelevant. You can just right click and delete all these columns, right? And then click on unfilter again, and then this will be left. But essentially, this is how you come up with all these keywords, right? So if let's say if you guys have like a female personal trainer, if my business have a female personal trainer, I will have another page just about female personal trainer where, everything is about, our female personal trainer, where we are offering female personal training, right? So you can see female personal trainer Singapore, there is a search volume, 500. There's also multiple times this keyword is being shown up, right? But this is essentially how you find keywords from your competitors, okay? And what you can do is you can combine and add these keywords on top of each other. Okay, but do take note, the more data that you're working with, the more data that you have to filter through. Okay, so what do I mean? So for example, in this case, I want to paste this, right? I want to look at this, this competitor instead. So again, I do the same thing, but again, I just want to use this site only because Fitness First, I know that it's a big brand and they probably have a lot of other keywords that is not going to be relevant to me. I just want to look at their personal training page. So I'll click on Get Results. Okay. Let it do its thing, and it's going to return me, all these keywords. Again, you can then go ahead and download this as CSV. Okay. Once it's downloaded, you want to import them in here. So I believe this was the sheet I was working with, right? So what you can do is you can combine these keywords into one big keyword list. Okay. So for example, I'm going to hit here. I'm going to hit on import. Okay, upload, and I'm going to upload this. I think this was the keyword. And in this case, I'm going to click on append to current sheet, right? So it's going to start the data here. So I'm going to click on append to current sheet. Where's the data? Oh, okay. And the reason why it's starting from here is because I have the last cell here. Okay, so, I'm going to remove this here first. Okay, and then I'm going to append again. Okay, let me append, import, do its, append, and it's gonna show up here. So again, you just want to delete the rows that doesn't make sense, and you want to delete this row because you already have that row, right? So now you have a total of 1000 plus keywords. So what you can do is you can deduplicate those, and what you do is you basically go over to data cleanup, remove duplicates, right? Data has the header row because this has a header row, and you want to only select keywords. So you're going to remove all the duplicates in keywords. So you will see it removes 347. Now I'm left with 600 plus keywords that is unique, right? Then you can go through these keywords and make sure that, you are looking at keywords that have the highest search volume and make sure that you're targeting those keywords because these keywords have the highest search volume, right? So, and again, then you can go in and filter for those keywords that is not relevant. But this is how you essentially do this to make sure that you are looking at keywords or you're targeting keywords that have the highest search volume based off on your competitor, right? The second method that you can do this with is via a paid tool. So in this case, the tool I'm going to be using is Ahrefs. You can use your own tool like SEMrush and any other tools that you have, right? But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this with Ahrefs. There's two methods that you can go about doing this. The first method, it's basically, like I mentioned earlier, if your website already has data, right? Then you can go in, look at the data of your site. So in this case, my example site is Pure Fitness. I'm going to look at the data on my site and I'm going to go over to organic competitors. Okay, this will show me the competitors that have some kind of data that I can work with. And in this case, the target audience that I'm trying to optimize for is Singapore, for example. I just want to show it for Singapore-based. I just want to look at Singapore-based data. Okay, in this case, it's also going to show me Singapore-based competitors. And this is essentially all my competitors. They are doing well organically, right? You can see the keywords that they have, the number of traffic that they have, right? And what I want to do is I want to look at sites that have a lot of traffic, okay? Because this means to say they have a lot more keywords that I might be interested in. Okay, so I can go and look at Pure Group, right? So I can open up, look at their organic keywords. Okay, in Singapore, do remember the target audience should always be filtered to your target market. So now you can see all of these are the keywords that they are going after, right? So personal, gym, Suntech, yoga classes. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of personal training involved here. Okay, yeah. So you can see personal trainer that's here, right? And then what you do, it's True Yoga. So this is also another competitor, right? So what you can do is you can take a look at all this, okay, and essentially open all of these up as your main competitor, okay, and you want to go over to Content Gap. Okay, Content Gap is basically to show you the keywords that your competitors are going after that you're not, right? So what you can do is you can paste in all your competitors here, okay, and then you can click on Show Keywords. So what this is going to do is it's going to show you all the keywords that your competitors are ranking for that you're not. Okay, and obviously you want to filter this down to your target audience, target market, sorry. And then this will show you like there's a total of 50 keywords that your website doesn't rank for, right? And you can take a look. Some of the keywords, again, always make sure to filter down your own keywords, because that is the, like you cannot, just look at the keywords as a whole. You always need to filter down keywords that only make sense to you. So in this case, you can see like, this mall, this is a mall. True Fitness is a brand. Novena Square is a brand, right? There's no point for us to go after these keywords. So these keywords will definitely be ignored. But then if you go down here, let's see whether can I find some keywords that will make sense to like personal fitness trainer. There you go. Let's say class schedule, personal gym trainer. So if let's say I'm offering personal gym trainer, personal gym training, then I can choose this as a keyword, right? But basically, this is how you kind of look at a competitors' keywords and basically just export all these keywords out. So again, just click on export, start exporting, right? And do the same thing, right? This is for the free software, free alternative. This one, it's for the paid alternative. So you can import this in here. And then this is essentially all the keywords that you are not showing up for. So this is one method. Okay, so again, you just want to filter and make sure that all those keywords that are not relevant, just remove them. And how you can do that, again, you can just have a tick box, right? And, just do it for the rest. Just do it for the rest, like delete, for example. You can literally call this anything you want. It's more like a framework of how you want to get things done. So there's no set and done rule of like what the naming should be and things, as long as you get the data that you require, right? So for example, like bike, Bikram, True Fitness, those that doesn't make sense, you can just remove those, right? And then remove this entirely by filtering out, just like I showed you earlier. So that's one way. Right. The second way is if let's say there's no, your website doesn't have any data, right? And it doesn't show you like the content gap, right? What you can do essentially is you can do it by putting in the website, okay, just like earlier. And what you do is you go over to their organic keywords of your competitor. Okay, and now what you do is you find keywords here. Okay, so for example, personal training, right? So in this case, you can filter for personal, and this will show you all the personal training keywords here. So you can see personal training, personal trainers, personal trainer meal, personal training studios, right? 10 search volume, training pricing, female training rates, right? So all this, you can then go ahead and export this out, and you basically do this for the rest of the competitors that you find. So obviously with more competitors that you find, the more data that you will have. And essentially what you do is you then go ahead and do you can go ahead and deduplicate those. Like I mentioned earlier, just go over to your file, data, and then you can do a data cleanup, like remove all the duplicates, like remove all the keywords that is duplicated, right? And essentially what you will get left with, it's a list of all the keywords that your potential business can go after that has search volume. So that's how you do keyword research from, from a seed keyword perspective, and also from analyzing your competitors with both tools. I hope this helps you out. There's no templates for this because, like I mentioned, it's probably everything on the fly, and it's pretty simple to execute this. Now, in the next section, what I'll be going through with you guys, it's on-page optimization, where once we've done with the keyword research, we have find out which keywords we want to go after. The next thing to do is to basically do on-page optimization after mapping out the pages to your services page or to whichever page that you want to map it to. Hopefully it's the most relevant page. The next thing that we want to do is on-page optimization. So that will be the next tutorial. If you like what you see, please like it, comment. Did I miss anything else that you want to see? Let me know. I'll be happy to answer your questions and comments as much as I can. And that's all. Stay safe. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Just